Finally, now it's officially recording. All right, so the people that weren't on missed our first few questions, but that's okay. Could anyone tell me the 4 stages of a hurricane? The 4 stages it goes through to get to a hurricane. Mia, ma'am.
I know one of them is like a disturbance, and one of them is a tropical storm.
All right, you missed one. Tropical disturbance is first, correct? Number 3 is a tropical storm. What's in the middle of that, Corgan? Isaac, please don't do that in the chat. Okay, well, if you want to answer a question, make sure you have the answer first, friends. Bryden. Yes, tropical disturbance, tropical depression, tropical storm, and then lastly, the lovely hurricane, except for hurricanes really aren't lovely. They're no good. All right, let's talk about the cause and effect of a hurricane. So remember last week we talked about cause and effect of an earthquake, and an earthquake can cause a tsunami. So pretend hurricane just happened. Tell me something that, one thing at a time, tell me one thing that is an effect of a hurricane. What is one effect of a hurricane, Michaela Freeze?
The people's houses that get destroyed.
Right, structural damage to houses. So your home could be destroyed. Jaden, what's another one?
Your basements could be destroyed.
Right, it specifically talked about like ground floors of stuff could be destroyed. So houses could be destroyed. All right, so we have covered houses. What else could happen, Presley?
People can die.
Yeah, loss of life. Or we could also put injury in that category. So we have homes destroyed, people could die, injury could be made. Amia.
Schools destroyed, like rooms and buildings.
Buildings, let's just say buildings. So not just houses could be destroyed, but actual buildings, right? Schools, stores, churches, all those things could also be destroyed. What's another thing, Olivia?
A tornado could happen.
Tornadoes. Remember, tornadoes are an effect of a hurricane. Avery, do you have another one?
Flooding.
Flooding. That's a big one. Blake, do you have one? Yeah, flood everywhere. It can flood coastal and it can flood inland. Bryden. Storm surge. That's what I was waiting for. Storm surge can, of course, happen. And so Eden, you asked about tsunami, but it's not called a tsunami. It's called a storm surge. And those are the giant waves coming from a hurricane. So we said things that could happen are storm surge, or loss of life, structural damage to buildings and homes. Obviously, flooding, so lots of rain from flooding, and tornado. So that is a ton of things that could happen. Next question, moving on. Good job with that question, guys. Can someone please tell me, what is the eye of a hurricane? I need you to tell me what it is and kind of maybe explain it to me a little bit. Landon Reedus, do you think you could do it nice and loud? That way people can hear you.
The eye of the hurricane.
You can unmute yourself.
The eye of the hurricane is more calm than the rest of the storm, but only for a little bit, because then it passes by and then more of the storm comes.
Right, so remember, the eye of the storm is in the center. Oh, wait, I'm muted. No, I'm not muted. My thing's off. All right, remember, the eye of the storm is in the center. So I thought of it as like a donut. So you go through the storm, the center of the donut would be the eye of the storm, but then you have to go through the rest. Remember, the eye of the storm seems a little bit calmer, but it is a little bit calmer. There's less winds and stuff, but just because we're in the eye of the storm and it's calm, is the storm over? No, it's still coming. Someone tell me, what is the one difference between, or the one similarity of a tornado and a hurricane? What is the similarity? Mark, do you know the similarity? What's up? Hold on one second.
My internet's really bad right now, but they both spin.
Yeah, in a circular motion. They're both considered cyclones because they spin in a circular motion. Olivia, what's your question?
When you get to the center of the donut, don't you mad because you think your donuts. I was going to say that.
Okay. We're not talking about donuts. That's just Mrs. Knifel's shape analysis. Anyways, but sure. All right, now. Yeah, they're both like a funnel. All right. Now, please tell me, sir. What? Okay, what is it?
They both destruct stuff.
Yes, they're both very destructive. All right, now I need some differences between a tornado and a hurricane. What's one difference between a tornado or a hurricane? I'm looking for people that haven't answered yet. So you might be called on even if your hand isn't raised. Angelina.
The difference between a hurricane and a tornado is a tornado, it spins.
They both spin. That's what we just talked about.
Well.
So I'm going to disagree with that. They both spin. Dylan, tell me what's a similarity or a difference between a hurricane and a tornado? Dylan Kelly.
The tornado is
I see that. Dylan, you're muted.
the tornado is faster.
Right, a tornado can spin up to 300 miles per hour, where the highest recorded hurricane on land was 190. Eden, do you know another difference between a hurricane and a tornado? Eden? Eden Swanson.
You can get sucked into a tornado.
You could get sucked into a hurricane as well, probably. They both can cause definitely loss of life and injury. How about the width of a hurricane? Hurricanes are absolutely huge. They can be hundreds of miles wide, where the average tornado is only about 5,000 feet, which would be like a mile wide. Okay, so that's a size difference. How about the amount of time? That's a huge difference. A hurricane. Okay, I'm just going to talk now. A hurricane can last up to 2 weeks, and a tornado can only last up to 3 hours. Hurricanes form over what? Everyone, even if you're at home, say it to yourself. They form over what? Water. And then a tornado forms over land. What are the 2 things that we need in order for a hurricane to form? What do we need for a hurricane to become a hurricane? What do we need for a hurricane to become a hurricane? Ethan, nice and loud.
Heat and moisture.
Yeah, you need heat and moisture. So, for a hurricane to form, the conditions need to be very warm and wet. The heat and the water is what gives a hurricane its energy. You have to remember that for your quiz. It's how it gets its energy. That's why as soon as it gets to land, it starts dropping down a little bit. If a hurricane, this is a nod your head yes or shake your head no question. If a hurricane is a Hurricane 5, is it going to be Hurricane 5 forever? Or can its category change? Can its category change? Yes, you should be shaking your head. Yes, remember, sometimes they're one category, then when they hit land, it's another. Or there'll be a category, they'll go out, get more energy, they'll come back, it'll be something different. Remember, it's not always set in stone. And remember, in order to stay safe as possible during a hurricane, you should make sure to have an emergency plan before the hurricane hits. There are 5 categories of a hurricane. Is category 1 the highest or is category 5 the highest? Show me with your hands. Which category is the highest, 1 or 5? Everyone should be giving me air 5s right now because category 5 is the highest of a hurricane. All right, I feel like that's all the review. Those are some good questions. All right, I need everyone's eyeballs on me. Your hands need to be down, and I just need everyone focus on Mrs. Kneifel, okay? All right. So do not get off yet. I repeat, do not get off the screen yet, okay? Okay. So once I let you go, I'm going to tell you it would probably be a good thing to reread your story. But I definitely want you to use your story for this quiz. This quiz is one of our more simple quizzes. I'm expecting 100%. Every single question I can personally find in our book, okay? These are not crazy hard questions. I promise the answers are in the book. So if you don't know an answer to something, use your book to help you. If you have extra time before something else starts, be sure, before your next rotation or whatever, be sure you are AR reading. Tomorrow, remember, is an e-learning day. No lives tomorrow. So tomorrow, you're going to have a video to watch, and then you're going to have a 9-question assessment to take. Be sure to watch the video first. The video is going to help you out, just like it did last week. And some of you didn't watch it, which made Mrs. Kneifel sad. But I promise you, your quiz today, you can all do super good on if you follow my directions and use your book to help you. If you do not have any more questions, you are free to go. But your quiz must be taken by tomorrow at 8 a.m. It is your homework. Mia, that is up to you. Shh. All right, you guys here. Let's take the quiz. The quiz must be done by tomorrow in the morning. Get it done now. That's what I would do. I would get it done now.
Bye.
Don't rush, though. Use your book. Landon, get off. Olivia, get off. Amia, get off. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too.